And a very good early evening to you all, wherever you may be watching from, and welcome to some boys volleyball here on the Kahok Broadcast Club Network. My name is Zach Roseman. Glad that you're here with us on a pretty nice Wednesday afternoon here in Southwest Illinois, getting ready for some boys volleyball action, like I said, as the Collinsville Kahawks are ready to take on the Knights of Metro East Lutheran. I'd like to thank you all for watching, taking the time out of your day to take in some volleyball action. It should be a pretty fun time. Collinsville come into today's game with a record of 8-14 under the direction of their coach, Mike Nichols. Metro East Lutheran come in at 1-14 and are under the direction of coach Jason Batty. Kahawks out there taking their warm-ups now. And see Metro East just to the right and maybe just off the screen to your right, waiting in the wings for their time to take the floor and warm up. So yeah, we got all that going on. Solid enough crowd on hand here at Fletcher Gymnasium. Into May now, getting towards the end of things. I think you got playoff seeds and whatnot coming out fairly soon. Suppose I could check that. But yeah, it should be a fun time here. Do apologize. I kind of shorted you all a volleyball game. Wasn't able to get down here to do the game against Alton, but was a winner for the Kahawks. So, yeah, from what I've seen, things have been going all right as of late. 8-14 record, like I said. Collinsville, last time out was yesterday when they traveled down to Belleville East and did take a loss, unfortunately, to a very strong Belleville East squad. Metro East Lutheran, as I mentioned, coming in at 1-14. And for the Knights, they, last time out, which was back on the 30th of April, so do the math there, over a week ago, back on the 30th of April, took a home loss to Belleville West. We're going to go ahead and take our first break here on the Kahawk Broadcast Club Network. We'll be back in just a bit for any additional thoughts that we can come up with and starting breakdown for both teams. All that and more here on the Kahawk Broadcast Club Network.
My name is Rayshawn Taylor, collegiate basketball player at SIUE. At the end of January, I had an ACL injury. I've been searching for ways to come back as best as I can after the construction. Dr. Chris introduced me to the Softwave machine. I'm gonna be honest, at first I was kind of scared because I didn't want it to shock me and hurt me too bad. And I had heard something about it and I did my research on it, and it turns out it didn't actually hurt. It just was a good pain. It just finding where it hurts to promote the healing, and that's exactly what it did. I've actually had this surgery before. This time I feel like I'm back on my feet quicker, much faster. I'm much stronger than I was up to this point last time. And honestly, I feel like I could play right now. I'm excited to get back on the court. Thankful that Dr. Chris introduced me to this.
Looking for a little bite to eat in a nice, friendly establishment before heading out to a game? Look no further than LC's Pub in Caseyville. Just blocks from Collinsville High School, LC's Pub is the pub of choice for Kahawk fans, before, after, or even during Kahawk games. LC's Pub features a wide variety of traditional bar food, like burgers and fries, chicken wings and chicken strips, appetizers like pepper jack mac and cheese bites, fried pickles, and green beans. Plus they have salads, fish, shrimp, and more. LC's Pub also features an outdoor patio, a gaming room, weekly poker tournaments, and a pool table, plus enough TVs for all the sports fans. And LC's Pub shows Kahawk games live, as well as Blues and Cardinals games. LC's Pub, 605 North Main Street in Caseyville, right across the intersection from All Pro Tees. Call for carryout orders at 618-855-9007 and on Facebook at LC's Pub. LC's Pub, Kahok fans' pub of choice. The Old Herald Brewery and Distillery in Collinsville presents the Sports Page Lounge. Come check out Collinsville's newest destination for your sports viewing pleasure. The Sports Page Lounge features a 14-foot, 9-screen video wall with games across the spectrum, from college football and basketball to the NFL, NHL, Major League Baseball, and NBA. Pair that with tastefully crafted libations from the Old Herald Brewery and Distillery, and you have the perfect atmosphere for your sports viewing pleasure. The Sports Page Lounge, next to the Old Herald Brewery and Distillery at 115 Clay Street in Collinsville. Call 618-855-8027 for more information. The Sports Page Lounge, a new experience for sports lovers in Collinsville. Are you a collector of sports trading cards and other sports memorabilia? Then you need to check out Rippin' Rookies Cards and Collectibles in Collinsville. Rippin' Rookies specializes in sports cards from all the major sports, MLB, NBA, NFL, plus Star Wars cards and more. Rippin' Rookies buys, sells, and trades cards and other memorabilia, and they have a large selection of single and graded cards. Walk-ins at Rippin' Rookies are welcome, or you can set up an appointment for large collections at sales@rippinrookies.com. Rippin' Rookies, 102 East Clay Street in the Old Herald Complex. Open Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sundays, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Rippin' Rookies, Collinsville sports card and memorabilia destination.
Hi, Purple and White fans. This is Dan Mode, class of 1989. I'm with New American Funding. Myself and New American Funding are proud sponsors of Kahok Athletics. As we have great coaches at CHS on all the courts, fields, and tracks, we like to coach you through the home buying process and refinance process. If there's ever anything we can do, I can be reached at 618-973-5343 or www.danmodeloans.com. Let's support our student athletes at CHS. They deserve the best. Thank you for your time, and go Kahawks.
We welcome you back here to Fletcher Gymnasium, getting ready for some Kahok volleyball. See the Knights of Metro East Lutheran, opponent for tonight, out there taking their warm-ups. As, just about ready to go here. Go ahead and take the time and run through the schedule for the Knights. Like I said, 1-14 record coming into today. They actually opened the year with that win, a 3-set decision down at First Baptist Academy in O'Fallon. They've also lost to several mutual opponents between only so many boys volleyball teams in this neck of the woods, so pretty much everybody's played everybody. Losses to Metro East Lutheran have a loss to Bunker Hill in a game the Kahawks beat, game I brought to you all. Lost to Father McGivney, lost to Father McGivney twice, actually, because that is a conference game, isn't it? Getting towards the thin end of things now. Just 4 more games left for the Knights. After this one, they go back, come back home to host First Baptist Academy on, I guess that'd be Friday, the 9th. Then they go to Belleville West, to Granite City, and then end the year on the 20th of May with a home matchup with Althoff. Collinsville 8-14, like I said. And you know pretty well, wins over Alton, Saxony Lutheran, Deschênes, Belleville West, Bunker Hill, Father McGivney, Alton, Granite City. Well, they have lost the last 2 matches to Edwardsville and Belleville East. They'll be back in Kahawks next time up, and I'll remind you all later, are back in action tomorrow at Belleville West, as it looks like we are just about ready for the introduction of for the pregame ceremonies, playing the national anthem and all that. So we're going to go ahead and take one more break here on the Kahawk Broadcast Club Network. We'll be back in just a bit for starting lineups and the start action here on the Kahok Broadcast Club Network.
Old Herald Brewery and Distillery in Collinsville produces their own spirits and beer on site, right at the restaurant. Pair that with some of the most unique menu items around the entire metro area, and you can see why they are such a hit. They can handle you and your family, or they can handle you and your group. Throw in the occasional live entertainment, and you can see why Old Herald Brewery and Distillery is a must-stop destination in Collinsville. Old Herald Brewery and Distillery, 115 East Clay Street in Collinsville, 618-855-8027, or online at oldheraldbrewing.com.
Herald Square and Cold Herald, two great additions to the Collinsville landscape. Next to the Old Herald Brewery and Distillery, Herald Square is a new outdoor multi-use event space in Collinsville. Concerts, fun and games, farmer markets, and so much more. Herald Square, a great space for Collinsville's future. And, just off the square's turf, Cold Herald, old-fashioned scooped ice cream gelato, house-made recipes, and premium-sourced product. If you're over 21, ask about the good stuff at Cold Herald. Watch Collinsville grow. Herald Square and Cold Herald, two great new additions, only in Collinsville, Illinois.
Celebrate the life of your loved one should be as special as the person they represent. That's why you will always find the staff at Her Funeral Home in Collinsville ready to go the extra mile to meet the needs of you and your family during those times. For over 100 years, Her Funeral Home has been there for Collinsville and the surrounding communities. Of the many arrangements made after losing a loved one, the first is the selection of a funeral home. The staff at Her Funeral Home in Collinsville can help with that planning. Call Her Funeral Home in Collinsville at 618-344-0187. Her Funeral Home, serving Collinsville families for over 100 years. 618-344-0187. Looking for a new place to catch the game with a cold drink and some great food? Look no further than 1101 Bar and Grill in Caseyville. 1101 Bar and Grill features pizza, burgers, wraps, and salads, plus 7 large screen TVs to catch the latest Kahok games and all of the pro sports across the spectrum, and all the college football and basketball you can handle. 1101 Bar and Grill in Caseyville, 1101 Caseyville Road, right across the street from Kahok Stadium. Call 1101 Bar and Grill for carryout orders at 618-223-1332.
All right, starting lineup for both teams as we welcome you back here into the broadcast booth at Virgil Fletcher Gymnasium. Teacher Appreciation Day here for the Kahok boys volleyball team. We have a few Kahok educators in attendance tonight. Certainly appreciate the work that they do. For Metro East Lutheran, actually give you all the starting lineup just a second. All right, now that we've got everybody introduced, I'll give you all the starting lineups. For the Metro East Lutheran Knights, sophomore setter is Hayden Knipping. He will wear number 2. On the right side is senior Evan Klostemeyer. He'll wear number 10. 2 outside hitters, Ian Skelton and Lucas Lorenz. Both juniors. 2 middles are Tyler Calvert and Caleb Dixon, both sophomores. And the libero for the Knights is junior Gabe Sanders, and see him out there in the black shirt with the green numbers, green shorts for everybody. Rest of the team for the Knights in the white tops, green numbering and lettering, and the Metro East Lutheran logo there on the right chest area. For Collinsville, they're in the all whites today. Purple lettering and trim, except for their libero, Gabe Freeman, who is out there in the purple shirt. Other starters for Collinsville, Jesse Scroggins and Cade Simmons, your two outside hitters. Colin Walagorski, your setter. Jordan Taylor and Stanley Carnahan, your two middles. And Solomon Talbot is your right side hitter, and it will be Walagorski who will open things off and serve. And attempted kill there from Klostermeyer, but he puts it into the net, and that will make it 1-0 in favor of Collinsville, as Colin Walagorski gets underway once again about 5:35. Set up there by the sophomore setter Knipping and pushed over there by Lorenz. Kahok's able to set it up, and not the cleanest set in the world, and Knights with not the best response, but able to get it over one way or another, and able to feed it over to Solomon Talbot, and Solomon uses that 6'11" frame of his to pick up the first kill of the match, and that will make it 2-0 in favor of Collinsville, as Walagorski will go back and look to continue his service run. He does so right at Sanders, and it kind of ate him up, as we'll actually credit that as an ace there for Walagorski. Had a lot of knuckle on it and gave the Knights libero some fits. Does it again. Sanders able to pick it up that time, but pushes it a bit too far forward, and it winds up going into the net. And that'll be Walagorski's second ace in a row. 4-0, and Walagorski back to do it again. This time it's picked up by Lorenz, and able to find the arms of Calvert, and he's able to put it down for the Knights' first point, and it will be Ian Skelton who will go back to serve for the Knights. I remember Skelton and Lorenz from the Knights basketball team that won a regional title. Nice cross-court kill there from Jesse Scroggins. He picks up his first kill of the day, as he'll go back to serve as reward. 5 serving 1 here. Pushed across off of the arms there of Skelton, and I missed what happened there, but point for Collinsville at any rate. Scroggins back to serve again. He does so. Picked up by Skelton and set up by Knipping into the middle for Calvert. He pushes it over, picked up by Scroggins. Walagorski will set it middle for Carnahan, and nice job there by Calvert getting up to block Stan. Talbot will push it over, picked up by Skelton, and pushed up over the top by Lorenz, and a bit of a scramble situation. It winds up being the libero Freeman who will just kind of push it over. Able to reset it. Calvert goes off with the left hand and sending it over for that was Simmons, excuse me. As the rally continues, Walagorski setting it up for Talbot again, and able to get it past the block of Lorenz. Solomon picks up his second kill, and that makes it 7-1 in favor of the Kahawks. So the service run will continue for Jesse Scroggins. And we're underway here. Picked up there by Skelton, set up by Knipping to Calvert. He pushes it over Freeman to Walagorski to Simmons, who wasn't in a great spot, and then just kind of a lapse of communication there from the Knights as Coach Batty looks on, not very thrilled with that one. Pushed across by Scroggins, set up back to Skelton, but he pushes it into the net. And that'll make it 9-1 and prompt Coach Batty to take a timeout. So, 9-1 run from the Kahawks to start things off, and we'll be Back after the break here in just a bit on the Kahok Broadcast Club Network.
All Pro Tees in Caseyville is your place for custom apparel and has been for over 20 years now. Why? All Pro Tees can handle any size project, big or small, and they specialize in large group orders. At All Pro Tees, quality is number one on their list of priorities, as is evident by their excellent service staff. Did we mention All Pro Tees has over 20 years of experience? They can even help with fundraisers and event merchandising for your group. And of course, All Pro Tees is your destination for everything Collinsville Kahawks. So for all of your apparel needs, for civic groups, sports teams, business outings, or even a family reunion, your apparel needs stop at All Pro Tees. All Pro Tees in Caseyville at 2240 South Morrison Avenue. Online at allprotees.com. Right across the street from Kahawk Stadium. All Pro Tees, 618-344-2200.
Scroggins puts it back into play, and another kill for Solomon Talbot, his third already, and that makes it 10-1, and Scroggins will look to continue the run here, keep the line moving. Scroggins does so, picked up by the Knights libero Sanders, set up by Knipping for Calvert. Walgorski able to set it up, get it to Talbot, and that goes off of Sanders. 4 kills for Solomon already, and that makes it 11-1. The recent signee to Missouri Baptist University to play basketball, showcasing his talents here on the volleyball court. Scroggins serves again, picked up by Skelton to Knipping, and trying to set it up for Lorenz, but his attempted kill goes too far, and that makes it 12-1. Scroggins pushes it over to Sanders, set up to Knipping for Calvert, and that is able to get through the block of Carnahan, and Calvert picks up his second kill and the second point for the Knights as that is Klostermeyer, right side hitter, will go back to serve. Real high floaty one. Picked up by Simmons to Waligorski, back to Simmons. And that one's picked up by Sanders. Set up for Lorenz, who kind of pushes it over, and a bit of a scramble situation, and eventually just kind of set up and into the net was Talbot, who got up there for the block, but got a piece of the net in the process, which is not allowed, and so that'll be another point for the Knights. Another serve for Klostermeyer. Simmons to Waligorski, back to Simmons, and that'll be a point for the Knights on the, I guess we'll call that a setting error, really. So a little bit of a run here from the Knights. Simmons to Waligorski to Talbot, and gives Solomon another one. He's got 5, and that makes it 13-4 and will limit the run. Jordan Taylor will rotate in for the Kahawks, take the place of Carnahan, as Grant Moss will come in for, I guess that's Klostermeyer. Moss is a sophomore. Freeman serves it over, picked up by Skelton to Knipping, and we have a double hit called, and so that'll be a point for Collinsville. Libero Gabe Freeman back to serve. And that one is off to the right, maybe even a little long. So the service error will give the point back to the Knights. It'll be Tyler Calvert who will go back to serve as the opposite middle Caleb Dixon rotates in. Big kid for a sophomore. And that might have gone out of bounds, but Simmons will save it anyway. Scroggins will get it over to Talbot, and we'll have a double hit called on Solomon. So that'll be make it 14-6 in favor of the Knights. JV won in 2 sets. I didn't get here to see the score of the first set, but I know the second set was 25-18. Looks like a fairly competitive game, but Kahawks able to pick up the victory. Simmons pushes it over. Moss gets it to Knipping and just kind of pushed over. Free ball there off the hands of Skelton. Waligorski will set it up, and that is in, says the corner referee. It looked to me like it was out, but it'll be a kill for Simmons, as we'll see August Kent and Drew Balcetis rotate in, and the junior Kent will go back to serve, looking to stretch this 15-6 lead. Does so. Left-handed serve picked up there by Calvert, and it will be just pushed over by Lorenz. Freeman picks it up. Set up by Kent for Simmons, and that one is tattooed. Goes off of the deflection of Calvert and nearly got up into the upper deck. Second kill on the night for Simmons, and Kent will look to continue the service run. Does so. Picked up there by Moss to Knipping, and that is high. And just kind of pushed over there by Skelton. Kent will set it up for Simmons again, a little softer, and that gave Moss some issues, but the Knights able to scramble well and get it over. And yeah, I was like, reaching over the net. There was Dixon. Not allowed to do. Get a little bit of a high five there from Moss. Actually, I guess they gave the point to Metro East. I'm not sure what happened there. Anyway, Lucas Lorenz back to serve. Freeman will set it up. And it is put down there. I'm going to give that one to Dixon. I'll make it 16-8. As Coach Nichols with some instructions there for Freeman. Lorenz back to serve again. Does so to the opposite number 14, Simmons, and he gets it back from Kent. Nice block there from Dixon. And they'll try and set it up over on the other side for Balcetis, but Drew pushes it into the net. And that'll make it 16-9, and Knights on a little bit of a run here, prompted by the serves of one Lucas Lorenz. Does so, jump serve to Scroggins, to Kent, setting it up for Simmons, and that one spins off the net, set off by Knipping, and attempted kill from Dixon goes too far, and that'll be point for Collinsville to snap the run, make it 17-9. Cade Simmons will go back to serve for the Kahawks. He does so, just tickles the top of the net and eventually able to be pushed over there by Calvert, but it goes too far, and another attack error will give the Kahawks their 18th point of the set. Simmons back to serve again. And he does so, picked up there by Calvert to Knipping and just kind of pushed over there by Moss, and it's unable to clear the net actually. That'll be another point for Collinsville, make it 19-9. Simmons does so, sinking and picked up by Knipping, and unable to get it over cleanly there was Moss, and so that'll more than one person got a hand on it, so I'm not going to score it as an ace. But the service run continues. 20-9 for Simmons to serve again. And that one ate Moss up, just kind of just missed it. And Simmons picks up the third ace of the night for Collinsville. And they'll stretch that lead out to 21-9. Simmons back to serve once again. And he'll go with the jump serve that time, and that is in. So back-to-back aces to match what Waligorski was able to do earlier. That makes it 22-9. Simmons does so, and that one was juiced. Too much. Yeah, got after that one a bit too much, but so it'll be a point for the Knights. See Klostermeyer rotate in for Moss. And back to serve is the sophomore Hayden Knipping. Does so, gets it over the net. Picked up by Freeman, tapped up by Kent, actually gets over the net. And be a point for Collinsville. Up off the bench comes Carnahan, and he'll rotate in as the other middle hitter for the Kahawks, Jordan Taylor, will go back to serve. And that one is a bit too soft from Jordan, and that'll be another point for the Knights. Both liberos will rotate back in. Freeman for Collinsville, and Gabe Sanders for Metro East. And it will be Sanders who goes back to serve. gets that one over. Freeman gets it to Kent and just kind of tapped over there by Carnahan, and that is out. Good call, I think, from the corner ref. And that makes it 23-12. So Sanders will look to continue the run. He can't cut into this deficit as that one missed pretty wildly. I think Sanders knows what he did differently as Talbot and Waligorski will rotate in for Balcetis and Kent respectively. And it will be Waligorski who will go back to serve. So back to the top of the serving rotation for Collinsville. He does so. Picked up there by Lorenz and able to get it over, actually. Set up by Freeman. Talbot had to kind of run to get that one, but able to push it over. Set up there for Calvert and able to pick up the kill there is the sophomore, number 3 on the day. And we'll move the line down to the top of the Knights order, which is Ian Skelton. He does so. Set up there by Waligorski for Carnahan, who has that stuffed by the Metro East wall. Big high set up there, and Sanders able to push it over. And kind of pushed over there by Scroggins. Skelton will push it up, set it up for Lorenz, and that goes off the block of Talbot. Jayhawks, good presence of mind trying to keep it in, and Talbot will just push it over, set it back up, and big kill there from Lorenz. Hit hard but goes too far, and that is the end of the first set, actually. 25-13. Your score on that one. We'll take a couple-minute break here. Be back for the second set in just a minute here on the Kahok Broadcast Club Network.
First National Bank of Waterloo, with over 100 years serving the Metro East. Visit First National Bank of Waterloo at their Maryville and Collinsville locations, and now in Marissa, St. Laborie, and New Athens for all of your banking, mortgage, and lending needs with super low closing costs and low construction loan rates. When you need a loan, call the Collinsville team at First National Bank of Waterloo at 618-345-1121, or visit their Maryville or Collinsville locations or online at fnbwaterloo.bank. Visit First National Bank of Waterloo, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Just because we're adults doesn't mean we don't have toys, am I right? If your adult toys consist of boats, campers, or RVs, then you need to call the GASA storage team of professionals. Winter weather in the Midwest can be quite harsh, and finding a place to properly store those expensive toys for winter can be just as rough as a Midwest winter. That's where the GASA storage team comes in, with outdoor self-storage and covered storage for your toys. They even have tractor-trailer parking, conveniently located at Horseshoe Lake Road and 111 in Pontoon Beach. GASA Storage, for the safe storage of all of your toys. Contact the GASA Storage team, gasastorage@gmail.com, or call today, GASA Storage Team, 618-797-6100.
All right, we welcome you back. Looks like we're going to get started a little early here. Referees heading back to their positions with 40 seconds or so of the scheduled 3 minutes left as get everything set up here. Yeah, first set 25-13 in favor of the Kahawks, looking to pick up victory number 9 on the year. Quick update for you in the world of other Kahawk sports. Kahawk baseball are in action down in Freeburg tonight. And the score is 5-4 in the bottom of the 5th in favor of Freeburg. So still a pretty close game as Ian Skelton gets us underway in set number 2. Kill there from Talbot set up. Lorenz tried to push it up, and that is behind the wire. So, point for Collinsville. Jesse Scroggins back to serve for Kahawks. And he does so, picked up by the libero Sanders. Set up for Lorenz, and that goes into the block. And that'll be a double hit called on Carnahan. Oh, well, really, Lorenz caused it, so even though it won't technically go down as a kill, I don't think. Klostermeyer to serve. Set up by Freeman to Carnahan. And it's the kill for Stan anyway, as Lorenz kind of going for the kick save there, as number 9, Cameron Woods, the freshman, comes in for the Knights. Gabe Freeman back to serve for Collinsville as Jordan Taylor rotates in. Does so to Sanders, set up by Knipping to Calvert. Now it's picked up by Scroggins to Waligorski to Simmons. Serves a bit high, and the freshman Woods picks up a dig. Able to get that done, and trying to set it up for Taylor there was Waligorski, but kind of missed that one, and that'll make it 2-2. Back to serve is Tyler Calvert as Caleb Dixon rotates in, take the place of Sanders. A slow serve, but gets it over a decent clip. And hey, there you go, nice pickup there from Calvert. We'll try the other side, and Solomon Talbot able to pick up kill number 6 on the night. Kent and Balsitas to rotate in, which means it's August's turn to serve. Oh, as have a slight delay as Woods ties his shoe, but he's ready to go now. Serve from Kent comes right to Woods and gets it up into the air to Knipping. Lorenz will push it over, and that is just a little bit too far. And that'll make it 4-2 in favor of the Kahawks. First to 25, win by 2. 2 sets out of 3 in Illinois, one of the few states left. But from what I've heard, there's not a huge push in regards to matching the rest of the country. And at the very least, the collegiate ranks in best of 5. Balsitas will push it over, and actually, that's in, yeah. So I guess we'll credit that to, the kill to Dixon. Just trying of a scramble save situation, but able to find a inbounds piece of hardwood. Lorenz will go back to serve, and he'll go with a big jump serve and nice velocity, but right into the net. So it'll flip back over to Collinsville and Cade Simmons. Outside hitter for the Kahawks, and he does the same thing. So no harm in it done at all, as Klostermeyer will come back in, take the place of Woods, and he'll get a high five from Coach Batty. All in all, a fairly solid performance from the freshman, I would say. As the sophomore setter, Hayden Knipping, serves it over to Freeman, set up by Kent for Balsitas, and he got a hold of that one, did Drew. Picks up his first kill of the day, and that makes it 6-4 here in our second set. First set won by the Kahawks 25-13. Stanley Carnahan rotates in. Freeman heads out. Both middles are in. Jordan Taylor with the serve, and we have an out of rotation violation, but don't think it would have gotten over the net anyway. Back to serve is Gabe Sanders. He does, pushes it over, picked up by Waligorski, and Carnahan able to pick up kill number 2 on the night. And that makes it 7-5 as Waligorski and Talbot will rotate back in. Kent Balsitas to the bench, means Waligorski back to serve. Approach the 6 o'clock hour here. Volleyball moves pretty quickly. Unless it goes 3 sets, and even then it doesn't take too long. Attempted kill there, and it will be a kill there for Calvert, as that was deflected off of Scroggins. Calvert picks up his 4th kill of the night. And back to serve will be Ian Skelton once again for the Knights. He does so. Picked up by Simmons to Waligorski to Carnahan. That's blocked down by Lorenz. Kahok's able to keep it alive. Talbot pushes it over, set up there, and a big kill there from Lorenz, his first of the day, and he's pretty hyped up about that one. He got all that one, and Knights hanging around here pretty well in this second set. Got it tied at 7 as Skelton will look to give the Knights their first lead. Does so. Freeman a little bit of trouble, but he's able to set it up, and kind of a running tap over there from Jesse Scroggins. Set up for Lorenz again. He just kind of taps it over. Waligorski able to get it to Simmons, and Talbot unable to get a clean strike on that one, and that'll give the Knights the lead in the set here at 8-7. Taps it over to Freeman. Pushed out there by Waligorski. Talbot will kind of tap it over, and Lorenz will set it up. Freeman gets it to Talbot, and that goes actually tapped over by Calvert, so we'll try it again. Back to Solomon. That one spins off the top of the net and down. 7 kills now for Solomon, and that will even things up at 8 as Jesse Scroggins is back to serve for Collinsville. Does so. Picked up there by Skelton, and that will drop in on the wrong side of the net, and so that'll give the Kahawks another point, make it 9-8. Tapped over there by Scroggins on the serve. Calvert will tap it over, picked up by Freeman. Waligorski set it up for Simmons, picked up by Knipping, and served by Skelton. Tapped over by Lorenz. Freeman will pick it up and able to get it through the block. Or not through the block, actually, so kind of a combined effort there between Calvert, but I'll give a little bit more credit to Lorenz on that. And that will even things up at 9 as Evan Klosmeyer goes back to serve. Set it up for Talbot, and Solomon able to get that one down nice and well. Kill number 8 for Solomon. That makes it 10-9 as Jordan Taylor will rotate in for Collinsville, and it is Cameron Woods back in for the Knights. Gabe Freeman's turn to serve, and he does so. Picked up there by Skelton, set up by Knipping to Lorenz, and that is blocked down by, give that one more to Talbot, but Taylor in there as well. Combined effort for the two middles, or well, one middle and one right side, but 6'6" and 6'11", pretty hard to hit over. Freeman with the serve, picked up, and that will actually get over, hit the bottom, and scramble situation for it, and that will be the 4th hit as Coach Nichols says, okay, let's settle down. That was weird out-of-sequence play as Calvert will go back to serve once again. He does so. Picked up by Scroggins, set up for Taylor, and that is blocked too far by Dixon. Got up there to match Taylor, and he's right in that 6'6" range. Said big kid for a sophomore, but not too much air underneath the block, and that will give the Kahawks the point. 12-10. August Kent to serve. Does so, picked up by Calvert, and he'll get it back, and that goes off of Taylor, and so that'll be a kill for Calvert, and then it's his 5th. Lucas Lorenz back to serve. Be 11 serving 12 here in the second set. Picked up by Freeman, set up by Kent to Simmons, cross court. Picked up by Lorenz, big hustle there from Calvert, who winds up catching it, essentially, which you're not allowed to do in volleyball. Second kill on the night for, or third kill on the night for, that was Simmons, yeah. Third kill for Simmons, And it'll be Cade who will go back to serve here for Collinsville. He does so, picked up by Calvert to Lorenz, set up, and just kind of tapping it over there was Skelton, set up by Kent, trying to get it to Scroggins, and that just ate Calvert up. Jesse picks up his second kill, and that'll make it 14-11. Simmons will go back to serve once again. He does so to Woods, and pushed up over there and able to get the tap down is Skelton for his first kill of the match. Kostemeyer rotates back in, and it is Hayden Knipping who will go back to serve. He does so. Freeman with the receive, gets it to Kent, and able to, nice dig there from Lorenz. Set up by Kent again, and a left-handed kill there from Taylor. Jordan's first of the day, makes it 15-12. Carnahan off the bench to take the place of Freeman as it is Taylor's turn to serve again, and gets it over that time. Picked up by Lorenz, set up by Knipping to Dixon. Taylor showcasing some back row capabilities. Set it for Balsitis, but blocked down there by Skelton, and that'll make it 15-13. Both liberos rotate back in, Sanders and Freeman. Sanders again back to serve. And he did not get a super clean strike on that one. That'll make it 16-13. All right. Talbot and Waligorski back in. Waligorski back to serve once again. And Colin does so. Picked up, well, 8 Sanders up, and that's Waligorski's third ace. Waligorski again, picked up by Lorenz. And Lorenz winds up sending it over. Set up by Waligorski for Talbot. And looks like Solomon got a piece of the net there. And so it'll be a point for Metro East, and that'll make it 17-14. Skelton back to serve once again. And he does so, and that is too far. That'll be a point for Collinsville on the service error. I'll give it back to Scroggins. And that just tickles the top of the net, and that gave the Knights some issues, and so Jesse will pick up an ace. And we have a timeout called by Coach Batty. We'll go ahead and keep it here for this one. Yeah, Scroggins, one of 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, 5, 6 seniors for Collinsville. Metro East Lutheran have just the one. Yeah, just the one in the form of Klostermeyer. Seniors for Collinsville, Evan Wilkinson, Jesse Scroggins, Andrew Balsitis, Cade Simmons, and of course Stanley Carnahan and Solomon Talbot. (19) serving 14 after the timeout here for Collinsville. And again, it is Jesse Scroggins who will look to keep the run going. He does so, popped up into the air, picked up there by Skelton, and able to actually point Collinsville there. Scroggins serves again, picked up by Skelton, set up by Knipping to Calvert, and blocking it down there is Carnahan. Second block of the night for Collinsville. And That'll make it 21-14. Scroggins floats it up to Skelton, set up by Knipping for Lorenz, and even this time Solomon Talbot says no. Solomon with his second block, and that makes it 22-14. Served over, picked up by Lorenz, and just kind of tapped over there by Knipping. Talbot will push it over. Skelton to Knipping, setting it up for Calvert, and this time the sophomore middle able to win that battle. Picks up his 6th kill of the night, and that will snap the run at 22-15. Evan Klossenmeyer back to serve for the Knights. He does so, and set up, and that is too far off of the hands there of Simmons. That'll make it 22-16. Klossenmeyer will continue the service run. He does so, picked up by Waligorski to Freeman. Simmons just has to tap it over. Sanders will kind of push it up to Knipping. Kahok's able to set it up, and Talbot will just tap it over to Lorenz. Or, sorry, that was Skelton, excuse me. Pushed up by Waligorski, set up by Freeman, and nice pickup there from that was Skelton, but got bounced around up in the basketball hoop arrangement up there and winds up dropping in for the point. 23-16. Cameron Woods back in for the Knights. Freeman to serve. Picked up there by Skelton. And pushed over there by Simmons. And Talbot will push it over. Knipping runs it out nearly to the scores table, and that's missing on that one with Skelton. So set and match point for Collinsville here. It'll be Gage Freeman to serve. He does so, and that is too far. 24-17. Caleb Dixon back in for the Knights. Tyler Calvert back to serve. So Freeman gets down for the dig, set up in a big kill there from Cade Simmons, and that is a winner, ladies and gentlemen. 25-13, 25-17 in favor of the Kahawks. That will improve their record to 9-14. The Knights fall to 1-15. Next action for both teams. Collinsville back in action tomorrow at Belleville West. Todd Duke will have that game for you on the Kahawk Sports Network YouTube channel. Next action for Metro East Lutheran is Thursday at First Baptist Academy. I've got something next week. I don't remember what, but I know that the next time you will hear my voice, if you so choose to, will be Saturday. Todd Duke and I will be doing the annual Collinsville Invitational Track Meet. Looks like the weather should be pretty good for that. And yeah, 25-13, 25-17 winner for Collinsville. Solomon Talbot with my pick for player of the game. 8 kills, 2 blocks. Can't be too mad at that. Getting solid performances from Cade Simmons. Really the whole, really everything did pretty well. I'm sure Kent and Waligorski had a fair number of assists between the two of them. Tyler Calvert with a pretty good showing for the Knights in the defeat. Till Saturday, everybody have a wonderful rest of your evening. Big thank you to all for watching, and we'll see you next time.